Hello everyone, this is Hank. Today I'm going to talk about how to do exposure compensation while in manual mode with the auto ISO on. As you know that if you're in full manual mode with the full ISO in manual as well, then there's no point doing exposure compensation because you have full control. However, when you set the ISO to auto in manual mode, what you will find is that it turns into an automatic mode where you don't really have any control. In this example, for example, I can change the shutter speed or the aperture without changing the picture at all, because the camera adjusts the ISO so that it maintains the same exposure until you kind of run out of ISO to do. For example, if I keep cranking it up, and then it will get dark. But other than that, you don't really have any control. So if you think the picture that the camera thinks is right is too low, or too dark, or too bright, in this case, I think it's a little bit too dark. I wanted to brighten it. The only way to do it while in this manual mode with auto ISO would be using exposure compensation. Now, how do you do that? Here, it is different from other modes. The other modes, all you have to do is press the shutter button halfway and then you can change it. But in manual mode, you cannot do it. So, if you're using the LCD, it's really easy. You just press on the scale here and then you can change it. Okay, just like that. I'm going to reset it back. Okay, however, if you're using the viewfinder, you will find that you cannot touch the screen to activate that. So you got to do a couple of other things. So now if you have a lens with the control ring, or if you have an adapter that has a control ring, you can use it to program it so that you can do it. So for example, in this case, I just press the shutter button halfway and then I can change it. Okay? So that is if you have a control ring. Now, if you don't have a control ring, you're kind of in trouble because there's no real button to do this. Now, however, I recommend that you use the MFN multifunction button to do it. Now, exposure compensation is not one of the 5 choices you get for the MFN button. However, you can program it. So in this example here, I reprogrammed the MFN button to do only 2 things. Okay, so first, it's doing ISO, and then I can change it over to exposure compensation, and then I can just crank it like that. Okay. So that's real easy. So that is what I recommend. I do have a separate video on how to configure the MFN button. I will provide a link. With that, I thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like and or a subscribe from you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.